What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video, and we're here for my 2023 AEW Full Gear predictions, or as I like to call this video, Double Upload Day Part 2. Now, what do I mean by that? Normally, I don't double upload unless it's a special occasion, and this weekend we got a great AEW pay-per-view on card, a great AEW pay-per-view, and I like to get my predictions out at least 24 hours prior to the event, and Full Gear is on Saturday, which a lot of times AEW pay-per-views are on Sundays, so a bit of a change-up, not the biggest deal. So the other video uploaded today was in my weekly ROH TV review, in which I talked a lot about this video in particular, so check that out and continue checking this one out, as here we go with my predictions. And as always, especially this happens a lot with AEW, not so much WWE, but if something else gets added to this card, I will quickly come to the comments and put in the comments what I predict will happen there. As of right now that I am filming, 9 matches have been announced. Now, again, this is a bit of speculation. Not even speculation, but maybe a prediction. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Hook versus Wheeler Yuta for the FTW title on the show, because they've been teasing some beef between the two, especially after the tag team matchup this week on Dynamite. Like I said, as of right now, 9 matchups. Also, it's a very odd number. It is an odd number. 9's an odd number, so maybe they go to 10. Who knows? We shall see. But the first matchup I'll be talking about is the 0-hour matchup for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. MJF and Question Mark versus the Guns. Now, the last time that MJF defended the tag team titles, he only had that one match, and he did defend it by himself, defending against the Righteous at Wrestle Dream. This time around, hey, he's got a main event matchup that he has to worry about as well. And as of right now, we do not know who this mystery partner shall be. If there's going to be a mystery partner, I think it will more than likely be Samoa Joe. But here's the problem. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Guns won, because out of the 3 teams that MJF and by virtue Adam Cole have defended these ROH tag team titles against, the Guns are kind of the most established and most accomplished, because when you look at the Dark Order and the Righteous and the Guns, hey, the Guns are a big deal. They're always on a winning streak, and they're former AEW tag team champions. So, like I said, this is kind of his biggest test as a Ring of Honor tag champion. And if the Guns win, I wouldn't be surprised. But, as I will say, probably a lot in this video, I'm overthinking. If he's to lose the very first matchup on the show, obviously it's a 2-on-1 advantage as of right now, he's more than likely would be damaged by the main event and would more than likely lose that matchup. So, and by virtue, if he wins this matchup, that idea is still there as well. But especially if you were to lose, the same thing goes. Now, obviously, there's kind of an exception to this. The main thing that I'm thinking of, WrestleMania 10, Bret Hart lost the very first match to Owen Hart and then went on to win the main event. Again, that's not the best example, because Yokozuna also had 2 matches on that show. There's probably other examples, but that's the first one I thought of. That being said, I would be surprised if the Guns win, but I think the smart pick is MJF and possibly a mystery partner. Also, MJF is still on the pay-per-view poster for Final Battle, and I don't know if I've went on record to say this, but I will say it now. This is a bigger, oh my god, this is a big video. But I plan on doing a year-end AEW/WWE awards video. If MJF competes at Final Battle, I will give him the Male Wrestler of the Year award. He's got a great argument right now, but if he competes at Final Battle, defending these tag team titles, is the main reason he would be at Final Battle, I'll give him the Male Wrestler of the Year award. But, you know, we got a long time before then, so we shall see. Now, we have another tag team matchup. The first matchup I'll talk about on the main card, the Golden Jets versus the Young Bucks. Title shot versus partnership. If the Young Bucks win this match, the Golden Jets of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho no longer get to team together. But if Omega and Jericho win, they get the Young Bucks #1 contendership. I've been on record several times saying, hey, I just want singles Kenny Omega back. And this is kind of the easiest way to set it up. So I am rooting for the Young Bucks to win this match. I want the Young Bucks to win this match. I did see a little bit of discourse saying, hey, we've seen this song and dance several times already. Because we saw the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho now. And all three kind of had the same story of Kenny Omega chose his partner over his friendship, his long-term friendship with the Young Bucks. And maybe the Young Bucks now, like, hey, we've been over this twice. Now this is the third time. Maybe they picked up on it and will have an advantage on it. But the main reason I want them to win is we get Kenny Omega back in singles action. And I've said this several times. If he's going to be in a freaking tag team, it should be with Kota Ibushi. I know a lot of people want to see Kota Ibushi back to prime Kota Ibushi. It will take time for that. I think him being with Omega possibly could do that. But I either want Kenny Omega with Kota Ibushi or I want Kenny Omega in singles action. I don't want Kenny Omega with Chris Jericho. There. That's kind of the plain and simple version of that. So that's why I think the Young Bucks should and probably will win. Now we have another tag team matchup. This one being a 6-man tag. Christian Cage versus Luchasaurus. Christian Cage with Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne versus Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, Darby Allin, and Sting. Now, we're on Sting's retirement tour. We have Adam Copeland / Edge in the ring against Christian Cage. We have a banged-up Darby Allin looking for revenge against all three of them, mainly Nick Wayne. Sting is still undefeated in AEW in-ring action, and I've never picked against Sting in my predictions video, and I don't think I will here, but I won't lie. I'm going to say this a lot. I'm going to predict something and then say I wouldn't be surprised if the opponent won. I think this is probably, if there's ever a time for Sting to lose, I wouldn't be surprised if it was here. I guess is the best way to put it, but I'm still going to pick the team of Adam Copeland, Darby Allin, and Sting! Next matchup, a Texas death match. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland 2. I'm going to go with Hangman Page. I would like it if Swerve won because I like that the role that Swerve Strickland has been on. And I feel that if he was to lose his matchup, maybe it slows it down a little bit. But also, that if Hangman Page already lost to Swerve once, him losing again I don't really know if that helps Swerve or not. Maybe it does if he shows a very vicious side, because like I said, this is a Texas death match. But with it being a Texas death match, Hangman Page has kind of shown that these hardcore matchups are a bit of a specialty. I'm trying to think, because he obviously earlier in the year had the death match against Jon Moxley that was very good. One of my favorite and I think most underrated matchups in AEW history was Hangman Page versus Lance Archer. It was a stipulation match. I'm also pretty sure it was a Texas death match as well. And then he also had a matchup against Adam Cole. Again, it was another stipulation match. I believe it was a Texas death match. But like I said, once we get to these hardcore matchups, it's kind of Hangman Page's specialty. So that's why I think Hangman's going to win. He's kind of a specialist in these matchups. And he needs the victory a little bit more than Swerve does. And I don't know if really Swerve losing hurts him that much. Who knows? Now we get into the championship matchups. The first one, for the TBS Championship, Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart versus Sky Blue. I'm going to pick Statlander, as I think she has had a great reign. But if the other two won, I don't know. I think I'm liking Statlander's reign, but if Hart or Blue won, it would be a bit of a change, and they kind of have also been on a roll as of lately themselves. I know Julia Hart did lose last month, and Sky Blue definitely had a title match. I believe it was on Collision, so they both have faced Statlander before. Maybe they learned something different and can pick up a victory this time around, but I wouldn't be disappointed with any of the participants leaving with this championship. Now, for the Women's Championship, Hikaru Shida versus Toni Storm. I've obviously been very critical of the AEW women's division, mainly the women's title. And it's kind of been a hot potato as it went from Toni Storm to Hikaru Shida to Paige here to back to Hikaru Shida. I think we should have just eliminated the whole Paige here title reign. And I kind of did that on purpose that way. My middle finger is down. But now I feel if Shida's to lose it, we're just in the same situation. I'm like, oh my goodness. However, they finally in this women's division have something that is interesting and has kind of built a storyline out of it with Toni Storm. However, I do think Toni Storm does not necessarily need this women's championship. Where with Shida, I have no clue what the hell she would be doing if she wasn't champion and carrying the division. Where I feel Toni Storm doesn't necessarily need the championship. And like I said, I would rather Shida keep the championship and we don't have this hot potato title change going on again and again. So I think I'm going to go with Shida. I think I'm also going to look like an idiot because I think a lot of momentum is behind Toni Storm at the moment. But I would prefer the title stay on Shida. Next, for the tag team titles, Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus La Faction Ingobernables. I believe it is Roosh. It's definitely Roosh. I believe he's also teaming with Dralistico. If not, obviously it would be Preston Vance. Versus the House of Black / the Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King. Versus FTR. I'm going to stick with Starks and Big Bill winning this. They just won the championship. I would not be against the Kings of the Black Throne winning because I'm a big House of Black fan. Even though I think this title reign would be a little bit different from their trios title reign. I'd have to see. But the main thing, like I just said, Starks and Big Bill just won the titles. I feel their reign is just getting started. But if they were to lose them, I would like it to be to the House of Black. Now we get to the last two matchups. And I won't lie to you. I'm 50-50 on both of them. The first one being for the International Championship, Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley 2. Orange Cassidy lost the International Championship to Jon Moxley at All Out. And then right as Jon Moxley's title reign was beginning, he lost the championship to Rey Fenix. And he was injured in that matchup. And then Rey Fenix didn't really get to have the greatest reign as he was injured, and Orange Cassidy got to pick up the straps after it. And it's kind of weird that a guy that was defending the title almost every week in Orange Cassidy, he kind of seemed like out of those three guys, the healthiest guy. Now, obviously, Moxley competes in-ring a lot as well, and Phoenix is a great competitor as well. Well, it's just another case of, do I want to see another one of these short title reigns? I do feel Orange Cassidy at some point was going to beat Jon Moxley. I don't know if that was going to be for the international title or not. I feel this rematch obviously makes sense because Mox did lose the title. He's supposed to get his rematch. I know a lot of times AEW does like to forget champions getting their rematches, but this time around that's obviously not the case. But there's obviously a story between these two. I think that's the main reason this match is happening. I think I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy because, like I said, I feel he was going to beat him at some point. I feel that it might be a little bit too rushed. But like I said, Orange Cassidy, this title reign is just beginning. And we already saw, I'm not going to say we already saw a Moxley reign because he had a handful of defenses. It kind of would be difficult to call that a great reign, but it was good in the short time that it lasted. But the main thing I would kind of like, iffy on is like, we did just see Orange Cassidy hold this title for a year. It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because either we get a different champion and some different matchups and just a completely different scene, or we just have another short-ass title reign that a lot of people are against anyway. So it's a danged if you do, danged if you don't situation. But I think I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy winning because I feel that he very much does need the redemption against Moxley. Now we get to the AEW World Title match. Woo! MJF versus Jay White. And I wore this shirt specifically for this video. Jay White. I believe it says 68th IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I obviously was not making YouTube videos a year ago, but when MJF first won this championship at Full Gear 2022, I did anticipate him holding this title for at least a year. And I'm not going to even say it's been an up and down year. I think it's only been up. Obviously, we have our issues with him. He was occasionally competing in the very beginning. He had a great match against Ricky Starks, or a good match against Ricky Starks, a good match against Takeshita, a great match against Danielson. Then it picked up from there. We had the Four Pillars 4-way match. We had him defending against Tanahashi. We obviously had the Adam Cole Bay matchups. And then, like I said, we started seeing him compete a lot more with Adam Cole and whatnot. And it just only added a little bit to his world title reign. I was going to say to his ROH Tag Team title reign. That's a different story. But essentially, I always thought MJF was going to hold that title for a year, and he was going to lose it at Full Gear 2023. Now, the issue with that is, last year, I had no... If you were to ask me who on the AEW roster is going to be the next champion, I don't think I could have picked anybody out. I would just be completely honest with you. But Jay White was not on the roster at that time. He didn't get added till April. And I think Jay White does have a lot of momentum going for him. And the thing with MJF, he has like 5 freaking storylines going on right now. He's got this matchup against the Guns on the 0 Hour. He has the potential matchup, partnership, whatever you want to call it, with Samoa Joe. He has his ongoing issues with Wardlow, which is kind of mainly Wardlow talk about it, not really MJF. He has his matchup with Jay White. If you want to consider the contract situation, which I'm going to talk a little bit more in a second, that as well. And then obviously, who the hell is the devil? There's several things to talk about here. The contract. The main reason... Here's the thing. I don't like talking about the contract situation because we don't know what the hell it is. We know what's rumored and what's told about it. I think he's staying in AEW. I know this kind of doesn't really deal with this matchup, but I think he's going to stay in AEW. In the grand scheme of things, you would probably want to keep the world title on him then. But I feel the bigger storyline is MJF versus the Devil. And some people, there's a guy named Who's Your Geo, who he really wants this Devil to be CM Punk. I don't think it's going to be CM Punk. But the main thing he always likes to point out to me that I forget and other people forget, the first time that we saw the Devil, they were attacking Jay White, essentially helping MJF. But now they attack the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, and they're not on the pay-per-view. That's kind of fine. One of them did get put through glass, real glass, Crimea River. I don't know who the hell the Devil... I think I know who the Devil's going to be. I don't know how MJF fits into it, though. Because like I said, the first time around, this person was helping MJF. Now, kind of is leaning away from that. But essentially, what I'm trying to get at is, does the world title need to be involved in that? I am just going to... Spoiler alert. I'm picking Jay White. I might be wrong. I don't care. Like I said, I'm going off of my prediction from a whole last year ago. I'm picking Jay White. I feel there's nobody really with that big of momentum in AEW besides Jay White that could potentially defeat MJF. I think the closest thing would be Swerve. And if you look at my predictions earlier, I said Swerve was going to lose. I think Jay White... I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking past this matchup. I feel, and again, this is just my prediction of who I think the Devil's going to be. I think the Devil's going to be Adam Cole. There's a lot of evidence. And a lot of this evidence is from Twitter because a lot of people like to deep dive into looking at all this crap. But when the Devil first appeared, it was Adam Cole's last live appearance as he was going off to have surgery. And one thing about AEW, I don't like playing with injuries, but they've lied several times about Bryan Danielson's injuries. They also, there was that one time with Jon Moxley where he was hurt and they didn't clear him. But essentially, back to Bryan Danielson, where Bryan Danielson was like, oh, he's supposed to be out the rest of this year. That's happened twice now, where Bryan Danielson's supposed to be out the rest of this year, and now he's cleared to wrestle, and we're not even in December yet. So with Adam Cole, again, I don't want to rush him back. I hope he's all safe and whatnot. Maybe he's not that damn injured. It's a what if situation. And again, even if he is, he doesn't have to rush back completely, and whatnot. But the first time that we saw the Devil was Adam Cole's last live appearance. And ever since then that we've seen the Devil, it's been in a black screen, where Adam Cole could do that from home and whatnot. And Adam Cole maybe wants revenge against MJF. You would also think, hey, maybe you'd help MJF win the championship. But, I feel that the story between Adam Cole and MJF, their bromance, has grown a little bit. And maybe the championship's not needed. So, again, maybe it could be used as well. Again, maybe I'm overthinking it. I think I'm very biased and really want Jay White to win. And I think that the perfect scenario, and bringing back the contract situation, maybe this is a potential send-off for MJF for at World's End. You already have the title off of him. You have MJF versus Adam Cole. 3, Adam Cole finally gets the big victory against MJF. He walks off into the sunset. Hey, maybe he comes back and they still do that match. And like I said, he re-signs his contract, and you get the big matchup out of it, because they'd be tied 1-1 then, because their very first matchup was a time limit draw. Again, like I said, the story between MJF and Adam Cole now is a little bit bigger than the championship. And the main thing that helps my case is, if Jay White loses this, I have absolutely no clue what the hell he would do or how he would recover. And I'm trying to think. With Danielson, how all these people that have challenged MJF for the world title, how have they recovered? And it's kind of a hard topic to talk about, because in the case of Danielson, he took time off, and then he returned a different man. He was a full-fledged heel attacking the Elite. The 4 Pillars match. Jungle Boy turned heel, became Jack Perry. Darby Allin kept doing the same thing, so he wasn't any higher, he wasn't any lower. And Sammy Guevara, I feel, was a little bit lower, because it was just another case of, we don't know what the hell to do with Sammy Guevara. Then we had Hiroshi Tanahashi. I guess it doesn't really count, because he's a New Japan talent. Then we have Adam Cole, who wasn't any higher, wasn't any lower. He's in kind of the same situation, but now could be elevated higher. I've also just came to the realization, oh my God, they've only defended this title has not been defended that much, because the last 2 MJF pay-per-view matches have been for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Again, I feel this would really hurt Jay White, because I don't know what the hell he would do if he was to lose this matchup. So I'm mainly picking Jay White because, a whole last year ago, I'm like, MJF's title reign is going to start at Full Gear. It's going to end at Full Gear. 2, I feel this is kind of the best built scenario, timeline for the title to change hands, as both competitors have something big time for them after this. But if Jay White was to lose, I don't know what would happen. If MJF was to lose, he would be fine. He would obviously be upset about losing the world title, but storyline wise, matchup wise, he would be fine, because he's got this situation with the Devil. And like I said, I think Adam Cole is going to be the Devil. I also think they will reveal it here just to set up a matchup at World's End at the very, very end of the year. Speaking of World's End, I plan on having a How I'd Book fantasy booking video next week, Monday or Tuesday. I don't know the date yet. But the last prediction in this. We have these every once in a while, but a new signing has been announced, that the contracts have been agreed to, and that it will be revealed at Full Gear. And I've seen a consensus from the Twitter/Instagram universe that it's either Mercedes Moné or Will Ospreay. I don't think it's Will Ospreay, because he still has stuff left to do in New Japan. And I don't think it's Mercedes Moné, because I feel there'd be a lot more rumors out there about it. And I just feel they wouldn't try to make it a surprise. They would try to really, really tease us with that one. I do have a prediction. And it's one that I have not seen. I've not seen anybody say it. I'm literally the only person that's thinking of it. And again, I haven't like deep dived into everybody's single prediction about it. Like I said, I'm maybe not the only person that thinks this. But out of my own eyes and my own brain, I'm the only person that has thought of it. So if you don't want to like potentially be, I think I'm that damn on the point with it that I think it's a spoiler. So if you don't get spoiled, thank you for watching. Click off. I think it is going to be Chris Hero. He is making his in-ring return this week, today actually, at West Coast Pro, which is also an event in California. He has worked for AEW before in the backstage capacity, and I won't lie to you, the main reason I think it's Chris Hero is I saw this tweet get put out, and I was in my YouTube subscriptions, and Chris Hero has done several interviews promoting his matchup this week. I think just timeline-wise, it all adds up, and scenario-wise, it adds up. I think it's going to be Chris Hero. I might be wrong. If it's not, I don't know who it's going to be. That's the good thing about it. That's what a surprise is supposed to be. You don't freaking expect it. You don't go out of your way to look to see who the hell it's going to be. So, we shall see. So, like I said, thank you for watching this video. Check out my ROH TV review. I plan on having a How I Would Book World's End video sometimes next week in case you're an AEW fan. You want to hear me talk a little bit more about AEW. Hopefully we can enjoy this show. As I said at the very beginning, if anything else is added, I will put it in the comments, my predictions and thoughts on that. ASAP. Again, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully we can enjoy the show and this weekend. Stay safe, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.